but the Stug is probably gonna get sticky as well. And is the sticky bomb going off? Sticky bomb is definitely going off. Already suppressed though. Impressive. This sticky bomb, is it gonna damage? Damage the engine. So the M3 is gonna be safe. The M8 is also gonna be safe. You could even creep them up a little bit more if you wanted. You could also creep up with the 18 gun. Perhaps even shoot at these walls from the garage and try to take the walls down and hence enable the 18 guns to fire on it. We can see Rifleman managed to take to damage the Stug's engine before retreating. The Volks, however, managing to make the engineers retreat as well, and the Stug likewise making the Rifleman retreat on the same flank. NG's still here, not entirely sure why he's leaving the SMG behind. Probably is hoping that PonTi did not realize that the MG did not retreat and is in fact still on that end of the field and gonna try to catch him and prevent it eventually. But now the Volk City MG and they effectively flanked the MG, already down by one member, and it is gonna lose another member, and the MG might actually get taken out. It will very much likely get taken out by these Volksgrenadiers, and there we go. And then a captured MG being taken out by the Volksgrenadiers, which is definitely gonna help our Wehrmacht play, as that Wehrmacht MGs are actually very nasty when they're used up against its own faction. Sherman now being repaired and even with an up gun, so it is going to be very, very efficient against the Stug, regardless of it being VAT 3, because the VAT 3 actually makes it considerably better against infantry, but not actually that much great up against up gun Shermans, especially now with this piercing on the field, this doomsday weapon, which is actually not an uncalled for objective whatsoever, considering that the Wehrmacht player is relying solely on his T3. He might be trying to get a T4, but this piercing is going to be racking some heavy chaos on the Stugs. As you can see, he's already taking some Stug already taking some very serious damage, and the Sherman also engaging the other Stug. One Stug down to half health, the other Stug down to 25% health. Storm Squad's coming about. One Stug manages to actually kill the Sherman, but there is still the piercing on the field. Piercing, however, apparently not engaging. In fact, it seems to be pulling off. I'm not entirely sure if it requires to do. Oh no, he's actually charging in. Is he going to be able to take out one of those Stugs with very low health? I don't think so. I think he's going to be contented with just engaging that engineer and the MG inside that house, which might actually get taken out if he doesn't retreat them immediately. And ooh, man, if that MG has just stand on that building for one more second, he could have actually gotten killed. And the Volks are not capturing this sector. This is an unfortunate miss micro from him, as he could be already almost capturing this fuel point by now, not to mention the AP as well. Some more mines being laid out on this flank, and we see a small engagement now over to the left hand side with Riflemen engaging the Grenadiers, which are forced to retreat. I don't think he actually had to retreat. The Riflemen were already with casualties. They didn't have any VAT, they did have BARs, but the Grenadiers were VAT 3, so they would be able to win. And not the King Tiger, but the Tiger tank finally arriving on the field. You can say that this is the ace of cards from the Blitzkrieg Doctrine, as if Storm Squads weren't actually good enough again for this game. He actually pulls out Tiger tank and dealing with all of that, not exactly excess manpower, because he was effectively saving it up, and that is why he didn't have by this time any more tanks on the field or any more Pumas, and this is when the T3 really starts to pay off for the Wehrmacht player, because by now he already has VAT 3, and while he still has two Stugs with VAT 3, now with this VAT 3 Tiger tank, it's going to make that VAT pay off incredibly quickly, as the Tiger is very able to take out Riflemen at a frighteningly quick pace, and the Stugs also fairly decent up against infantry, and with two Stugs and with one Tiger, if he only just repairs them quickly enough, he might actually be able to engage his force just on the edge of his own and be able to take out this pushing, which is still at full health, and we already won that, so it could be a close fight, but then again, remember that the Tiger tank actually has that. Now Cinder is being forced for 3, however the Volks are also engaged by the M8 and the M3, which is already at 2. 18 kills, not quite sure what those could be about, probably wire. Some Panzer strikes, however, approaching the M3, they might actually do some decent damage, but they are already suppressed. They're taking one casualty per day. Engineers also doing some decent damage on them, and they are forced to retreat as well. Riflemen trying to sticky up this Tiger, but they are obliterated by it. As you were able to see, infantry Tigers very much able to handle single rocket. And man, what an impact shock right there. And if this works actually Panzerfaust this, it's gonna make the Doomsday come all that much faster for our US player. However, with an AT gun, and he buffs the AT gun? I suppose he was trying to destroy the AT gun to allow his tanks to roll in, but it would actually be wiser to just get a naval warfare at this point, which he does have enough manpower for, actually. We can see the pushing now being engaged by... Ooh, man. I think that was actually the AT gun. Yep, AT gun batting up. So another unfortunate event there. The pushing could have actually batted up again, which would have been very, very important for it to try to handle this tank attack. However, field repairs also very useful at anti-armor duties, and then now there's to get taken up by those AT guns, which are wrecking some heavy chaos upon the mechanized force of our Wehrmacht player, which is now forced to retreat. His ace of is ace, not actually the ace tank itself, but the brother of it, in fact. Another Sherman on the field now, so a total count of 1 M3, 1 M8, 1 piercing to off health, 1 Sherman, 3 engineers. You could actually be looking to upgrade them into flamers, but then again, now with those field repairs, he definitely wants to save up as many munitions as he possibly can to allow his tanks to roll about and destroy the fairly less mobile force from the Wehrmacht player, which is now effectively reduced to mostly infantry, and that Tiger, which is way more mobile than the Ace Tiger, but not actually as much mobile as other units such as the M3, the M8, or even the Sherman for that matter. A lot of decapping going around here, however, and an MG laid back on the rear of this engagement as well, not actually doing anything just as of yet. In fact, MGs are going to be proving to not be all that useful from now on, considering that the Wehrmacht player actually has infantry vets, so its own infantry is able to stand up against rifles, which none of them are actually vetted, and in fact there are only 2 of them, so they are in fact basically just camping units at this point. And we can see now our US player finally starting to actually gain a significant advantage over the Wehrmacht player, which was playing so well and dominating so powerfully throughout the game. And surprisingly, Rock is finally being able to surpass his foe, and in a late stage of the game where the Wehrmacht should actually have the advantage. And I've said this already 3 times in my past, and I can honestly say I'm still surprised our US players have been really so good in late stages of the game up against Wehrmacht players, even when they weren't actually winning the early stages all that much significantly. You can see another engagement up here, not as significant as the Pershing versus Tiger engagement, however, and we can see for now the Pershing winning the battle, as it is still at only 25% damage, whereas the Tiger is already down to 25% to 50% health. It is being repaired, however the Pershing is surprisingly still ahead. However, it is now starting to lose the battle as those repairs start to kick in, so to say. However, naval warfare, already on the possession of our Wehrmacht player, and with that naval warfare, he might actually be able to turn the tide. He might be able to take out those ET guns, which are so important for our US player. Those ET guns have been costing such amount of fuel and such amount of manpower for our Wehrmacht player. If he is able to take them out, and if he is able to actually take the wreckages out afterwards, he might still be able to get back into this game. However, the Tiger tank already down to about 10% health, and if he actually would chase it after it with the Pershing and with the Sherman, he would be able to take them out. Stu coming about, doing some rear armored shots up against the Sherman, and the Sherman is going to be forced to retreat unless he wants to die, because, oh man, that was unfortunate. So Sherman not quick enough on its wheels, or not actually wheels but tracks, some decappings on this side. good to see this. Good to see light vehicles being used to capture points, especially considering that he only has 2 riflemen and 3 engineers. He doesn't actually have that much of a capping force, and those light vehicles are definitely going to help him not losing this recent lead. Some more riflemen coming about to this sector, they're definitely going to be recapping that strategic point and the victory point, and later this munitions point. However, already decapping on the fuel as well. At this point, we can see now PonTi striving to get back into this game. He's now got 2 naval warfares, perhaps a little excessive there. He's got still a reasonable amount of infantry with Volk storm squads and grenadiers, not as much infantry as he had before, and not a repair bunker coming up. This repair bunker is definitely going to prove important, as this Tiger tank has been taking so much damage. And while PonTi has been doing a very good job at conserving it actually on the field, is definitely in need of some extra little something to put him further into this game. ATK now in a very awkward position, however surprisingly catching a Stuke there, which is refusing to go back as the Grenadiers engage the AT gun, and the AT gun might actually get taken out before the MAD is able to take out those Grenadiers, and the Grenadiers are able to take out the AT gun. He might actually be looking into recruiting that rather than actually destroying the AT gun. We see that it is in need of AT power, as this Sherman and this Pershing are definitely far too much for one lone Tiger to handle. Even with that Stuke, there's so more smoke being used. Very nice to see this ability in general to be used in any game one at all. Engagement that being won by the Benmal player, and went from handling about it. If you had to use them, you would probably have gained that engagement. However, Grenadiers forced to resist, and then they die to the Flamers, and the Panzerschreck is left behind and captured by the engineers without a Flamer, of course. And the engineers are going to be able to get some repairs done. And now I'm surprised to see that PonTi is still striving for it, even though he is already down to 200 victory points with almost no resources whatsoever to speak of. As you can see, 34 munitions and 10 fuel, with a considerable amount of fuel stored up, however, not with a lot of manpower income, but with some manpower saved up. But at this point, he's gonna be wondering, what can I actually get to change the tide? But I would say at this point, recruiting that AT gun, which is just idling, not idling, but left behind there, recruiting that AT gun, getting a little bit more Panzerschreck infantry, and just focusing as much as he possibly can on recruiting the naval warfares at killing the AT gun, then moving in with infantry from one of the sides of the tanks, and then moving up from the front, that is from north to south with his tanks, would be able to effectively at least strike one of the US tanks. However, he's not doing that. He is charging in with his 2 tanks, and he is charging in with his anti-tank infantry, but not trying to flank as I was, well, not as I was suggesting, because he obviously can't hear me, but as I was describing. We can see AT gun doing almost nothing to the Tiger, as it is not with AP rounds, so it is having a very hard time actually being able to penetrate its armor. Now the Storm Squad's almost getting taken out by the triple threat, and these light vehicles now truly proving their worth and harassing and recapturing points that any light infantry might try to recapture on the left hand side.